There's a situation that brewed up with Robyn, and a lot of people are saying that Kody and Robyn's relationship has fallen onto hard times. And I'm going to be honest here. Now, I've noticed that I've been kind of suffering a little bit with the subscriber count. They've been going down. Folks have not been liking what I've been saying, but I got to keep it all the way 100. Got to keep it a buck. Got to be honest. I am torn with regard to how Kody is treating Robyn, and I'll explain why. Kody has been very toxic towards his other wives, without question. And for many years, people have thought that Robyn has been his favorite wife. And I think that Kody had a preference with regard to which wife he enjoyed spending time with. I think that he's enjoyed his time with Robyn in relation to his time with his other wives. And how do I mean that specifically? What I'm saying is that when he spent time with Mary, Christine, and Janelle, it wasn't that they were necessarily bad or evil people, but in the way he's been coming off, especially with his rich taste in life and luxury, he has a certain status, or at least he comes off to me that he has a certain status that he appreciates in life. He wants his wives, the women that he deals with, to be a lot like his cars and his houses and his clothes and the way he's perceived in the community. He wants to have the best of the best of the best because he feels he deserves it. Now, when he looked at the metric that he used to judge what was a valuable partner and a valuable mate, was not necessarily something that the average person would look at. For the most part, an average person would look at the idea that these are the mother of your children, first and foremost. These are women who are committed to you. That's a huge, big bonus. These are women who have dedicated their lives, their finances, their existence, their wombs, their bodies, everything towards the family and specifically towards Kody. Kody didn't value any of that. What Kody valued was how these women treated him and talked to him, and more importantly, how they looked. And there's been a huge thing where Robyn has taken turns saying that Kody doesn't care about how the women look, and he likes bigger girls, and he likes this, and he likes that. The truth of the matter is, if Kody was really indeed attracted to that kind of thing, you wouldn't have to say it. You wouldn't have to say it. He would have been pawing them like a teenager in the backseat of a 1950s Chevy. Like he would have been at him. But he wasn't that way. He didn't ache to spend time with him. He wasn't trying to figure out how he can get out of seeing his child being brought into the world so he could get back at one of his other wives. Like he did with Christine when she was having Truly, and he snuck over to Robyn's house so he can get some smooches in. And of course, when Robyn was having her child, he did the whole stage of, oh, I'm going to go over and I'm going to claw at Mary for a little bit and try to smooch up on her. But it wasn't the same thing. And the audience members, although Kody may think this, we're not dummies. And we could see a setup. That was a setup because you wanted to even things out. It's kind of like what you guys do with as far as the pictures and the confessionals where you try to rearrange it where you're not sitting next to the same wife and you'll be sitting on one end and Robyn will be sitting on the way other end and you guys try to pretend like you're not together. What everybody knows is you're going to get up and walk off that couch, walk out of the set, and get in a car and go home together. So it doesn't matter like where your seating arrangement is. We know it's all for show. For the most part, and for many years, Robyn was the wife that you were attracted to because Robyn was what you considered to be your most attractive wife. And she benefited from that. And because she received that benefit, she was had a preferred status. And because of that preferred status, she skewed many of her views towards the way Kody was treating his wives. So when she sat there and said, oh, Kody is great. Kody is wonderful. Kody, we need to understand where Kody is coming from. Kody is suffering so much. Kody, excuse after excuse after excuse after excuse for his misdeeds and his inappropriate actions and his misbehavior. Now, the shoe is on the other foot. And this is actually where I'm a little conflicted. And I'm going to be honest about it. I'm conflicted because on one hand, I don't like to see anybody abused. I don't like to see anybody mistreated. I can't stand a bully. I can't stand a bully. Deep down in the cockles of my soul, I can't stand a bully. I despise that type of activity. So when Kody is mistreating his wives, he does it from the position of power and he bullies them. And I can't stand it. And I don't want to see Robyn or anybody suffer that. At the same time, there's a dark, dark side of me that can say what's good for the goose is good for the gander. You know, you benefited. Robyn, she benefited from the way that he was treating his wives. She benefited from the way Kody was and the way he pursued things. Because she sat in a preferred situation over the other wives, Kody would take financial resources from the other wives and give it to Robyn. Robyn has been in a situation where she's benefited not only emotionally, socially, culturally, and everything else from being in this relationship. She's definitely benefited financially from being in this relationship. When push comes down to shove, you look at the relationship the way it's laid out, especially on TLC. She came into the relationship as a divorcee with 3 children. Walked in, mountains of debt, no jobs, no prospects, nothing going on really. She was working, trying to take care of these kids. All of a sudden, she moves from a trailer into a rental home that the sister wives most likely were paying for. Kody was probably paying for that house that she had when she was living miles and miles away. He was probably renting her that house, quiet as kept. Then when she moves from that house to Utah, he rents her a house down the street around the corner from the house that they were living in. And she's coming up. Every time you turn around, Robyn had a come up. And then she gets to Utah. She didn't work since she touched down in Utah. She hasn't punched a clock in 13, 14 years. And from the time she came into the family, she came in with mountains of debt. They had to recover that debt and pay that debt down so that she could purchase her home in Las Vegas. She went from living in a trailer to living in a McMansion. And it was all because of her relationship with Kody. Then she went from living in a little McMansion in Las Vegas to living in a bigger house, more expensive house in Flagstaff, Arizona, where it's over what they say is estimated around almost $2 million now. So she's been winning. And this is part of the conflict where she was sitting on Christine's steps trying to tell her and calling her a liar, saying that no, in Las Vegas, we were all doing well. Everybody was doing great. No, girl, you was doing great. Because you had a major come up. Of course, if you're benefiting the way she was benefiting and you're winning the way she was winning, of course it's great. You can't understand why people think it's bad. If you look at like a regular person, if you go out to a club, a party, a bar, a date night, a mall, whatever, and you meet attractive people and you're having these interactions and you're getting phone numbers or Facebook or however people do it now, you're getting those connections with these people, it's the greatest time ever. Versus somebody who goes there, that same party, the same night, the same wherever, that same night, and they're not meeting anybody. In fact, they come outside, they got a ticket on their car, and they got a boot there too. That's a terrible place. This place is horrible. This place is made by the devil. Like, they're not excited about that place. So it's just the relative relationship that you have to the experience. That's why Robyn benefited the way she did, and she thought that the relationship was the most wonderful relationship ever. And she couldn't understand why any of these women would ever think of or dream about leaving Kody. But now you're dealing with the situation. You're dealing with the Kody that they were dealing with, and you don't like it. And so when you were sitting there criticizing them, talking about they need to stay dedicated to the marriage and they can't leave the marriage and they have to work it out and get in a room and figure it out. The dark side of me is saying, Robyn, get in a room and figure it out. But you can't figure it out. And that's part of the trap, is that at the end of the day, I would be giving her bad advice if I told her to go into a room and try to figure it out, because you can't figure it out with somebody who doesn't want to figure it out. If they don't want to work it out, it won't get worked out. And you can't work it out by yourself. I don't give a damn what Mary said. I don't give a damn what Robyn said. I don't care what their culture is. Relationships can't be won if only one person is involved. That relationship will always fail. You can't love somebody enough to compensate for them not loving you. So you have to make sure that you're set up in a way that you can be fed in a relationship, that you can be a participant in that relationship, and you're not just sitting there as a spectator. So from Robyn's perspective and the news that are coming, that's kind of coming out and kicking around the internet about Robyn. Robyn, I'm sorry that you're going through this. I feel bad for anybody who is suffering through this. Part of me is saying you kind of had it coming, but at the same time, you can redeem yourself by doing the things that are necessary. Do right by your sister wives. Make sure they're whole with the best possible situations and scenarios that you can bring about for them. And, you know, breaking up the money, breaking up the estate that you have with Kody, because remember, it's not just yours and Kody's estate. It belongs to all the sister wives, and they should all get a part of whatever dissolution of your estate that you guys have. And then from that point, pull a Christine and move on with your life. And if it can be Kody, and Kody wants to turn himself around and refocus himself, then work with Kody to do that. But then at the same time, if he doesn't want to work with you and he just kind of is fixated on being rich and famous, and that has nothing really to do with you, then you need to make better decisions for yourself and for your kids. My name is James. This has been my take on reality, and I'm out.